Working on the nacelles, I've already I did a lot of sanding to get these seams as good as possible, so there'll be less seam work after I get it glued together. So I primed it and put the base coat on. I did not like the way this plastic piece was working. Not enough light coming from these little bitty lights on the sides. It did pretty good for the back one, but not good enough for me for this one. So what I've done is I've taken some 0.5 fiber optic that I'm going to use, and I took some brass tube here and here on all the sides of the nacelles, cut them off in little sections, and I glued them with some super glue. Now I still need to paint it to cover up the brass part. Now the fiber optics will fit in there. Let me get a light source and I'll show you what it looks like. So it will give me just the right amount of light. So that's my solution for that. On the engine backs, what I've got here is a 3mm super bright 470 ohm resistor here. I did sand all the outside here to diffuse the light. It'll sit in there, and I have one over here that's already hooked up to a power source. And that'll give me the light for the engine part back here on the nacelles. So let me finish working on this and get all of it together. I'll come back and show you what the inside looks like with all the wiring all together and everything. I've got all my wiring done for both nacelles. They're not closed up yet because I still have to do the fiber optics. What I have is I have my light here for the back of the engine. It's resisted with a 470 ohm resistor. Comes around, and then I have another 3mm LED, same resistor here, which is going to be for my fiber optics. And like I did on the main hull, I use the little channel to secure my wiring. I just like my wiring kind of neat. I also light blocked the back of this LED and the back of this LED with some tulip, and that has dried and everything is working. I'll turn it on. You can see the light here. It's going to be for the fiber optics, and then of course the back engine light. So now I need to move on to the fiber optics, the two on here and the two here, and then I'm going to have to gather them together, and then with some tweezers I'm probably going to have to feed it into that tube there before I can close this together and seal these two nacelles up. So I'm going to work on the fiber optics, get everything together, and then I'll come back and show you what it looks like. Both nacelles have been sealed and everything is working. All the lights are working. So the next job is to take care of these seams. So I'm going to be doing some priming and some sanding, and priming and sanding, and get some more of this base color on there. And then I'll be able to move on to some of the painting. This piece right here gets a color, and then there's some weathering, and then there's a fade pattern on the fronts of these nacelles that needs to go on there. So let me get all the sanding and everything, the seams taken care of, and then I'll come back. Masking the nacelles, what I use is Tamiya masking tape, because it's easy to apply and you get a nice crisp edge. So I just use regular 3M blue painter's tape to cover the extra because it's cheaper. So what I've got here is I've got two different colors. I've got color up here and a different color back here on these parts. The ones back here I'm going to use the XF17, and then the one up to the front here, I'm just going to use the straight XF13, which I think is Japanese Army green. So let me spray these and I'll be back. Alright, I got the masking off. I don't think the front here is dark enough, so I think I'm going to redo that. And the sea blue back here was a little bit too dark, so while I was painting the front, I just lightly dusted over the sea blue back here to kind of tone it down a little bit. So I think I want to redo this and then do the fade patterns there, and then do these two rectangles and get all the painting done, and then I'll come back, and there are some decals that go on here, so I'll come back and do some decals. I'll put some decals on. There's some lettering decal that goes in right here. It's number 9. There's 2 of them, so I'm assuming that one for each nacelle. So I'm going to cut these out and then put these decals on, so I'll be back. Decals are on. I forgot to turn the camera on when I put them on, but anyway, they're on. I still need to seal them, but they are adhered and ready to go, and I'll do that off camera. So that's going to do it for part 5. Part 6, I'm going to be working on the detail painting on the main hull. So as always, I want to thank you guys for watching, and thank you guys for subscribing, and I'll see you for part 6.